Hi, today we'll be working in C. We'll be learning about typedef. So typedef is a keyword in C that lets you create a data type. So we'll just start coding right away. So I have my IDE open. I'm using C-line. So here I'll just include the main header file. It's just a small example, so we'll use this example, and we'll also show how a tree node works. So we'll have it's basically an example of a tree node. So we'll just work with that. So we'll just have a void main here. You can write void if you want. Don't really need to. So here we'll say type. Pretty much just means like type define. So we'll have a type named length. We can see that before type length we had the int type. So length is really a type of int, but we're kind of like masking it to be an int, but we're calling it length. So here we just have, so we have a note here. Now length is a data type. So length is a data type now. Here let's have another one underneath. So we'll say typedef char, and then we'll say pointer to a string. We'll call it pointer string. So now remember that in C there's no string type, it's just a character array. So now we have, now a string is a data type, so we've created a string data type. So here we'll have a typedef, we'll typedef a struct. So we'll say typedef struct. We'll call it T node, like tree node. So we'll say that so basically each T node is a struct type. And remember, structs can have many fields. So every time we call T node, it's going to be of type struct. And basically you can call it this T node will hold these different fields. So we'll just have it holding a char named pointer word. We'll say that it has an int count. And the thing with the struct, this thing with the tree node is that it has other tree nodes in it. So here we'll have a struct T node, pointer left, and pointer right. So these are the children. So actually I think you have to call the type struct T node. And the data type is going to actually be down here. And we'll call it a tree node. So hopefully I didn't confuse anyone. That worked down there. Okay, we'll just hold off for a sec. So we have struct. We'll have another struct tnode with a pointer to a parent. Have an error here, so we said it's saying that 1 spelled that wrong. Okay, so did I spell it wrong? Okay, yeah. My mistake. So include. In the middle of a heat wave right now, so I'm kind of like a little drowsy. So we have include stdio.h. That's fine. So there's one more mistake. It's saying there's a expected semicolon. Okay, there we go. So there's a missing semicolon there. So what's happening here is that it's a little confusing, but for a typedef struct tnode, that basically every tree node has these things inside. So it kind of has two names. So here we'll just type now tree node is a data type. So in main we can start initializing some of these. So we can say we want to call length. That's now a data type of type int, or we could call tree node. That's a type t node. Is that coming up? P node is. Okay, it's creating another struct. So I think the point of this is that the reason why it has two names is because this is a way to bypass writing struct again. Like if you just want to call t node, the thing is you're gonna have to call struct. So that way we've defined the whole struct and called it tree node. So hopefully that just makes sense. So here we'll have a type length. We'll call it len and max len. So that's just an example that basically we just have a length type now. So we have, remember that length is now a data type. So length is now a data type. And we've called the variable len. So len is really an int and max len is really an int that can store ints. So the next one we'll just have another length. We'll call it pointer lengths array. So it's just an array that can hold ints and it has a pointer to it. And here we'll just call our string data type. We'll say we have a string p and we have a line pointer of max lines, which we don't have a constant for that. So we could just say we could just say constant int max lines is 10. Uh, 17 lengths. Does it? It's telling me that I can't do that. Okay, that's alright, so we could just say, we could call max lines in here, just pass in 10, basically. Same thing. Oh, if we haven't gone over the const, that just means constant. So you can't change, I think, or it'll throw an error. So if you try to change like max lines to 11 or something, it's gonna give you an error. That's why I usually don't keep them as constants unless you really need to. So here we'll just call a tree node. And we'll just call it T node 1. Okay, so I think we need to set some of the fields. Or we could say, do we already call T node? So we'll just call T node again. Okay, so it wants us to use struct, so it's having okay, maybe because of this here, this semicolon. I'll take that semicolon out. Then I'll just remove the T node. Okay, so now, to define the typedef struct, you have to put that semicolon after the name of the struct, typedef struct. So the initial name will go there, and then after you have to, at the end of the square brackets, you have to name it again. And then the semicolon, instead of just going after the square bracket, has to go after the second name. That way if you call the tree node now, then you could set it to something else. Now T node 1 should have access to the char, word, the int count, the struct T node pointer to the left, which would have its own set of fields, all of these fields. A struct T node pointer to the right, which would have all the fields as well, and a struct T node to the parent, which would have another set of all these fields. Alright, so that's the end of this video. So if you guys want to see the next video, it's on unions. So we'll go over unions, and then we'll go over one dynamic memory allocation example. And that'll be it. So if you guys want to see more videos, you can subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.